Good evening and welcome to this special edition of 6 News Live from Tallangatta, where we're here to shine a spotlight on how locals have been dealing with the impact of the border closure between New South Wales and Victoria. Let's begin. And the Victorian government has downgraded all of regional New South Wales to an orange zone, meaning residents from that region will have to get a permit before they enter Victoria and will have to isolate until they receive a negative result for COVID-19. Sydney, however, is still classified as a red zone, with travellers from that region being turned around at the border. New South Wales authorities are closely monitoring a number of new COVID-19 cases as we go to air tonight, with which have been linked to a hospital and the Northern Beaches, which of course just left lockdown. But the border restrictions have left a lot of locals confused. We spoke to Tallangatta resident Granger Lee about his experience.
It's been interesting. We've adapted as a community pretty well overall. There have been initial teething problems with organisation and information, but I must say that Victoria Police have done an outstanding job. For people who must travel between say 7 and 9 in the morning, and then between around 4 and 6 in the afternoon, it is a big wait for them. It can be up to an hour, but luckily with the Victorian side being closed, we are locally considered border residents and only need to show our driver's licence with the correct postcode to pass. So it's quite quick compared with paper documents.
Granger Lee speaking to me earlier. Well, the Victorian government has also taken out ads in Sydney's metropolitan newspapers directed towards Sydney siders. The full page ad reads in part in big bold writing, "You're in a COVID-19 red zone, no entry to Victoria without an exemption, and those arriving at the border will be turned away." Sydney's Australia Day festivities, meanwhile, will be significantly reduced this year, with a number of daytime events not going ahead on January 26, including the Ferrython, the Tall Ships Race and the Harbour Parade. Like many places in Australia, Albury-Wodonga has been dealing with the impacts of the lack of tourism due to the pandemic. The area was already recovering from last summer's bushfires. As you can see in the vision there, that was the centre of Albury almost a year to the day right now. But now tourists have been either unable to visit due to where they live or don't want to due to the risk of more border restrictions.
Some people have not coped well at all, and have really suffered, I think, from their mental health perspective. But the community at large and the vast majority are really just getting on with business because, everyone still needs to go to work and pay their rent.
And there's now calls tonight for a border bubble for the region, which would stretch to Wagga Wagga in New South Wales and potentially all the way down to Wangaratta in Victoria. Well, if there's two things this region is known for, it's borders and sheep, and that's what the 2021 Australia Day lamb ad is all about, sending a hilarious message of unity amid border closures that have divided families and entire states. And once again, Scott Morrison, Western Australia and Tasmania are the butt of the joke. Chief reporter Connor Alforque has the story.
It's long been a barometer of Australian news and culture.
We used to be the greatest country on earth. But we've lost the plot. Cheating at sport, can't even hang on to a Prime Minister.
Well, mate, a few hours you'll be eating lamb on the beach.
But I'm a vegan now.
Vegans.
And after a year where borders dominated the headlines,
After the Queensland border reopened to all of New South Wales, queues grow on the border continuously.
this year's Australia Day lamb ad was a spoof on the border beef, particularly between the Queensland and New South Wales premiers.
As tensions continue to escalate.
Cleverly titled Make Lamb Not Walls, the ad is set in New South Wales in 2031. 10 years after the barricades came up, it's ultimately the smell of a lamb chop that brings them down. So what to do when a single lamb chop emerges from a hole in the wall? You take a bite, then barge in for more.
I love the smell of lamb in the morning.
The ad that's almost guaranteed to offend this year spared no state.
WA, you made it.
Yeah. Sorry for trying to become our own country. Again.
Even the Tasmanians have arrived. Where are the rest of you?
This is all of us. What have I missed?
While Scott Morrison is currently on a week's annual leave, his holidays haven't stirred up quite so much controversy as they did last year. His trip to Hawaii during the Black Summer bushfires inflamed the nation.
If you had your time over again and you had the benefit of hindsight, then would have made different decisions.
So, having skewered Scott Morrison and the States, the ad received a rapturous reaction on social media, many describing it the best yet. Its popularity sees lamb sales skyrocket by 15% ahead of Australia Day. Just as the ad centres around soldering the cracks and divisions in this nation, so too does the change to the national anthem. The 26th of January will be a historic Australia Day, the first where the old national anthem will be belted out.
We did it! The United States of Australia!
If only unity were as simple as that. Connor Alforque, 6 News.
Connor Alforque reporting there, and that is this special edition of 6 News Live from Tallangatta on this Thursday evening. Remember, you can stay up to date with all the latest breaking news on the border closures and any other story by going to our social pages. Search 6 News A to find us. I'm Leonardo Puglisi. Thanks for your company. Good night.